Alright guys, this is the start of the stretching program. This is something I do a couple times a day. I do the full routine at least once a day to try and limber up my muscles, try and get rid of any of those fibromyalgia knots, tender points that we get in the belly of our muscle. Also try and flush out any of the lactic acid that seems to be there, that accumulates and causes that burning that we get within the muscle tissue. So the stretching program that I'm going to show you now is actually going to cover from head down to toes, and we're going to go by muscle group. So I'm going to try and break this out into the individual videos so that you can see one at a time how we stretch the different muscle groups. Alright, so getting head started, what we want to do is kick off my flip-flops. We want to basically warm up the body, okay? We don't want to stretch cold. Stretching cold after you've been bedridden, laying down, inactive, is not good for us, okay? So what we do is we can tend to walk in place, jog in place, whatever is suitable for you. I'm not using shoes right now. Typically, I would use running shoes with an orthotic in there because I have flat feet. But I'm just doing some high knees, a little bit of running in place. If this is too much for you guys, you can see there's a treadmill behind me. I could walk on that for a little while. I can do high knees like this. I can do jumping jacks. And these activities for about 5 minutes will help warm up the body. Now, from here, what I do is what might be referred to as a little bit of dynamic stretching. Dynamic stretching is basically when we're in motion and we're using motion to warm up our muscles, to stretch them out, to meet the limber. This is something that we can do right off the bat. For instance, some arm circles. Other way. Other arm. If you're tight, don't go too fast. Don't try and swing too hard. It can be just nice and light. From here, if you have the coordination, you can go basically opposite arms. Something that I do before swim, where you're taking one arm and rotating one direction, and taking the other arm and rotating the other direction. It's pretty helpful. Stretches us out nice. We can do shrugs, basically where we're giving ourselves little hugs. Can move those arms up more, down more, to reach the areas that we need. Okay. And just do some leg kicks. Get your legs nice and limber. Okay. And now we're ready to stretch. So the first thing that we work is we work head down. Okay. I typically get some fibromyalgia points in my jaw. Right in here, I get some knots. And the pain can stem from here upwards into my ear, stretch over the top of my head, as well as come down through my throat, into my neck, and stretch out towards my teeth. So what I do are neck circles. And this is going to work out basically your head, your neck. You just do several circles around. And what we can do from there, once we're a little limber, is we can start to move our neck to one side. And as we put our neck to one side, we take the other hand right here and we drop it down. So for instance, if I'm dipping my head to this side, to my left or your right, I may pull that neck stretch a little more by grabbing the head, and I take this hand, the opposite hand, and I take my fingers long and I extend them toward the ground. And then I move my head forward and gradually aft to try and work this whole neck up in here, which extends into the top of my head. Then I'll pull down a little bit, and I'll switch sides, again taking my fingers extended long. I'm pulling to my right and extending my left hand down to the ground. Straight fingers, trying to reach for that ground. And what that's going to do is, when you reach for that ground, it's going to increase the stretch, the depth of the stretch. Okay, I can feel that now, all the way in here and out here. So what I'm doing is basically covering the neck and into my trap muscles right here. And we're going to keep going with the trap muscles in this section. Just by feel, you drop your head to the opposite side of the trap that you're trying to work. Okay. It's not rocket science. You may also tend to wish to rub your jaw, open your mouth, open and close, reverse the other direction. Give yourself a little massage in here. Depends on how tender you are as to how deep you want to go. I tend to like a lot of pressure. Try and work, basically following the contours of your face into your teeth, back, and try and break up some of those painful knots that we get in fibro that may exist in the jaw and cause what they call TMJ. Okay, at this point, I'm basically done stretching my traps, my jaw, my head, and my neck.